You are looking at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois, as we move on in the IHSA Football Championships to the Class 6A stage. And we move on to a game between undefeated Cary Grove at 13-0 and 10-3 Crete-Monee. This is the second game of the day here in Champaign. We witnessed a thriller just now. JCA holding on for a 35-27 win over Montini in the 5A state championship. Welcome to Field Level here in Champaign, along with my partner, NBC Sports Chicago Preps insider, Edgy Tim O'Halloran. I'm Patrick Reed. Tim, if there's one thing that these teams have in common, it took late-game magic to get here to Champaign.
Yeah, they did. It's been an interesting, two contrasting styles in both teams. But again, as you're right, they've needed a little help towards the end of the games, but here they are in Champaign, and again, going to be a fun game on a lot of different levels, which we'll get into.
A score in the final minute for Crete-Monee against Richards got them here. Same thing for Cary Grove against Notre Dame. And for more on today's game, we send it up to the booth and our guys there, Nathan Beliva and Mark Window.
Thank you, Patrick and Edgy Tim. And yeah, that last second magic, we just saw that in 5A. Both teams will look for it here in 6A. But Mark, we've got a clash in styles here. We're going to see a triple option, and we're going to see a spread offense. So a little bit for everybody.
And the exciting thing is they're both dynamic offenses. We saw some points on the board, some rushing yardage. Last game, we're going to see it again this game. Two different ways of getting the job done, but two omnipotent offenses we're going to see here for the 6A title game.
A rematch 6 years later. Let's take a look at our key players for today's game. For Cary Grove, looking for revenge against the Warriors, Danny Daigle. He does everything.
Well, he's the star of the semifinal game. All he did was have a key late interception, a key game-winning touchdown, and a two-point conversion. 112 yards of total offense in that semifinal. He can run it, he can receive it. He just flat out gets it done. His numbers speak for themselves.
And on the Warriors side, it's the quarterback. Well, one of the quarterbacks we'll see today in Trayvon Rudolph.
He is explosive. He's dynamic, fun to watch, electric, versatile. He's played quarterback. He's played running back. He returns kicks. He's been on defense. He's a speedster. In the semis, he rushed for 96 yards and threw for 227, a dual threat quarterback in his own right.
Daigle and Rudolph both got the touchdowns last Saturday that got their teams to Champaign. Let's see who gets the last touchdown today to take that trophy home. Cary Grove and Crete-Monee coming up next.
On a sunny day in Champaign, we are set for the Class 6A IHSA Championship game. And Edgy Tim, if we're looking at the undefeated Cary Grove Trojans, keeping it on the ground is going to be key in having success.
Well, Cary Grove, you break out the dual threat offense. The first part is ground, the second part is pound. You want to ground and pound that football. You've got to also, Patrick, finish with points here. You can't come up short. You want to finish these drives with points.
And how about Crete-Monee, who won 10 straight to get to this game?
Again, you've got to pounce on that, jump all over that running game, and then attack with your big play offense.
All right, Nathan and Mark are next for the soundtrack of this game. We'll return to Champaign after this.
Well, they've made the trek down from the Fox Valley, the Cary Grove student section. They are ready to go, looking for a state championship in pretty good conditions. 54 with 15-mile-an-hour winds, down a little bit from what we had this morning when it was gusting into the 20s. The temperature is up into the 50s, and couldn't ask for a much better Saturday weather-wise here Thanksgiving weekend. And the Warriors and the Trojans, who played in the 2012 title game, are ready to go. Crete-Monee won the toss. They deferred, so they will kick off. Bunch up and everybody run to the ball, and now we'll line up and do it for real. Trayvon Rudolph, the quarterback, runs at it. He doesn't kick it. They go short. And Cary Grove will start on the 50. Oh, razzle-dazzle, Mark.
Short field on a would-be onside kick, fielded oh so cleanly. And this omnipotent Cary Grove offense going to start at midfield with this attack that is so diverse. They call it a flex bone. you'll see it about 85% of the time on the ground.
Ben McDonald, a former linebacker, now quarterback, very efficient with this passing. One interception. It came in week 2. 18 passing touchdowns. Run for 1380. Pass for 1364. And the pitch back goes to Daigle. We talked about in the open. You see a lot of him, a lot of Blake Skull and Ben McDonald. Here's the offense for the Trojans. You see McDonald, Skull, Daigle, Peroni, Quinn Priester, the former quarterback, a great baseball player as well. Desmet on the tight end. Heinisch, Petco, Hissong, West, and Riley, the offensive line, and Addison West is the star offensive lineman in that group.
Well, he is a punisher up front. You'll be seeing him in front of his ball carriers all afternoon long.
Out to the right side with it is the quarterback, McDonald, inside the 35. Misdirection there, had all the Warriors defense going to the right. He ran to his right for 18.
Little option read. He showed Skull the football, saw the defense come crashing out, keeps it to the outside. McDonald, he can do it. 1,370 yards passing, 17 Ds, 1,200 yards rushing, and 23 TDs.
Kayvon Jones just along for the ride there at the end of that tackle. Did force him out of bounds at the 33. Minimal gain, if any, here. 1 yard plus for the Trojans.
Blake Skull, Warriors, the punishing fullback.
Warriors defense with Dalen Brown, Dakota Fugate, Justin Halbert, and Dion Harry, that front line. Millender, Caraballo, and Elias in the linebacker positions with Jones, who made that last tackle. You see Ronald Carroll, a fantastic DB with Jeremy Sellers and Jamal Seymour. Sellers had 2 interceptions in the playoff game against Bloomington. Seymour had 2 against Glenwood. Loose ball, it's on the ground, and the Warriors have the first turnover of this game. Coming away with it, Dakota Fugate.
And this was just good fundamental tackling. First hat to the football. 2 and 3 more gold hats, then to come and strip it inside handoff. There's the initial hit, and there's the strip. Nice play, ripping that ball away by Raymond Arvallo, the linebacker, and that's an excited group of Crete-Monee football players.
Dion Harry had a big block of an extra point against Washington. You saw him running off the field there. Pickup of 2 on the first down play for the Warriors. And they're going to run 3 different quarterbacks out there at various times. Rudolph is the main quarterback. There are his numbers. 1141 passing, 659 rushing. But Vontrell Banks has had a big year throwing the ball as well. He threw for 234 in their round 2 win over Chatham Glenwood. A fumbled snap, and Rudolph falls on it. Kind of a sloppy start to the 6A title game.
Well, he was what they call look. A lot of times when the play comes from the side, I look at John Konecki's offense, he was looking to the side, was Rudolph. The snap came, and it was oops. He was not even looking. He was trying to get the play, put a man in motion at the same time, had the presence of mind to fall on the football, avert a disaster. But they have themselves 3rd down and long in a would-be pass situation.
Hit him right in the number 2.
3-man rush for the Trojans.
In the air, that is complete to Ricky Johnson. Leading receiver, 60 catches for over 1,000 yards and a 7-yard pick. The Warriors with Rudolph, we mentioned, Venerable, Johnson, Eric Morgan, and Jamal Sappho with another wide receiver, Vontrell Banks, if they don't use the tight end. Ambries, Fugate, Simpson, Henderson, and Witten on the line for the Warriors. And 4th down, and Rudolph is the quarterback, but he's also the punter, so they can do a little bit of everything. Fugate also punts, and they've actually got Fugate back there now. 2 punters, 3 quarterbacks. Trying to keep us on our toes today, Mark.
Yeah, it sounds like a Sandlot game. Everybody's every position.
Fugate, who recovered the fumble, gets it with the win, picked up just shy of the 20 and dropped there On the punt, Daigle got 1. So both teams hold no score early first quarter in the 6A state title game. A fumble and a punt to get the 6A game underway. No score as we start the second drive of the day for Cary Grove. They're on their own 22. They're starting the first drive on the 50, moving it a little bit into Crete-Monee territory, but then the fumble. See Brad Seaberg, his 8th season at Cary Grove, 82-17. 7 years as the offensive coordinator, 10 years as an assistant. Marengo native, he played at Loris, teaches at Cary Grove. His wife Dorothy convinced him to take the head coaching job when Bruce Kay retired. He was content to be an assistant. 8 years later, 82 wins later, they've added a kid, now have 4, and in the playoffs, he's 20-7.
Yeah, you talk about 82 wins, 10 years. You're talking about a perennial playoff team, a perennial threat to make a run during the state tournament series.
Got our first flag of the day thrown from the sidelines here as the Trojans were heading to the line of scrimmage. And encroachment. The Warriors lined up in the neutral zone. Let's hear it from our referee today, Jason Gray.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense number 25. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Jason Gray, our referee, James Morrissey, Greg Brown, Tim Spangenberg, and Jason Underzat. Congratulations to those gentlemen getting to call the 6A state title game here in Champaign. And a first down run on 2nd and 1 and a pickup of 5 for the Trojans. McDonald with the keeper.
So they go 7, they go 5, they go first down. Again, they call this a flex bone. So a wishbone is a fullback and then a back on either side. A flex bone, they usually put somebody out on the wing. So you see that alignment right there. That is a prototype picture of a flex bone. The man from the top of your screen, a little bit split wider than the other 2 backs.
Right up the middle for a pickup of 4. Played Skoll that time, getting the carry. And here's their offensive game plan, Mark. We've talked about the running with Skoll, McDonald, and Daigle. And then Priester, with Daigle mixed in, will be the catchers.
Well, you got 2,000-yard rushers that have combined for 44 touchdowns. Daigle just chips in with a game winner last week for good measure. And Priester, a former quarterback, is their go-to guy. He goes 6'3". Baseball commit to Texas Christian. They'll throw some jump balls up to him when they get a matchup against a smaller cornerback.
What an athletic catch he had against Huntley this year, and run close to the first down marker. I did like that you asked Coach Seaberg if he could hit off of Priester.
And he did bat an eye, not a chance.
Said only if he put it on a tee, right? And there's Quinn Priester. He went to the perfect game, All-American game at Petco Park in San Diego in August and missed quite a bit of practice and missed the first game of the season. And that's when McDonald was installed as the quarterback, and he's never looked back and gives them more of a throwing option than Trojans fans are used to seeing out of their football team.
Double tight end alignment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 people in the box for Crete-Monee against this run-first offense.
Couple yard carry here, minimal gain. Second down as they get to the 50 with Skoll.
When you stack the tackle box, what we mean by that is the space between the offensive tackle line to line. You tack it so deep, if you can get the ball to the edge or downfield, you can get some incredibly consistent, explosive plays. Now they can spread it out a little bit more.
Halliburton made the stop there, 2nd and 8. McDonald going down the line, making sure they all know the play here. And it's Skoll again, turning towards the 45, and a late flag comes in.
Skoll ball carrier, tackled by Javon Jones. And you go to Fugate, double flag on play.
Skoll just runs so hard and so low.
Against the Warriors.
I see we talked about that flex bone, the previous play, and then we said, look at all the people in the box. Then the Trojans came out spread wide.
On the defense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. The result will be a first down.
And then when you spread out the defense, you take those linebackers out of the box, give an inside handoff to Skull, and you have some running lanes to get through. So you give the defense some different looks. They make you adjust to them numbers-wise.
McDonald keeps it across the 35. And now we're seeing the Cary Grove offense pick up yards at 5, 6, 7 a clip. That one goes for 6.
Good read by McDonald. He rode, they call it mesh. You ride your linebacker, the mesh between he and linebacker. Pulled it out at the last second as the linebacker came crashing down on Skull. Took it off tackle and gets himself that 6-yard pickup.
Again, keeping across the 30. And another first down for the Trojans and a 6-yard pickup for Ben McDonald. Senior gets him to the 29-yard line. He, Daigle, Priester are senior. Skoll, the junior, as far as the backfield goes. Matt and Hissong on the line are juniors, and the rest of their offense, all seniors for the Trojans. A tough 17-13 loss to Prairie Ridge in the playoffs last year. We got a flag here. It might wipe out that 10-yard pickup thrown by the referee in the backfield. And it is coming back. Coach Seberg telling us that everything that's happened this season started right after that 17-13 loss to Prairie Ridge last year, watching them go on and win their second straight title. But he said the way that the players reacted, the seniors going out, and what the sophomores and juniors from last year, and now the juniors and seniors did right after that, that's what was the catalyst to everything they've done this year.
They had some difficult games along the way to get there.
On the offense, multiple players moving before the snap, at the snap. Replay the down.
Probably the best one was the Phillips, a 34-24 game, where they converted on a fake punt late to really solidify that win. A gutsy call against a very good Phillips team who's been to the finals the last couple of years in 2 different classes.
McDonald getting most of that penalty yardage back. Pickup of 8.
Offensive line getting really good push right now. They block down from the right. Look at that right, pull to the right, to the right, to the right. And they just push as a zone situation. McDonald reads those road graders going right. He goes left. Had a good angle squared up. The 10th play of this drive. This is Trojan football out of their flex bone that they love to run.
Just over 4 minutes ago in the opening quarter. This time it is Skoll, and he stood up at the line. Minimal gain will bring up 3rd and 6.
You know, they're so well coached and well schooled in this offense. You get a chance to watch from our great camera angles from up top. You'll see the players that don't have the football carry out the fakes. It's not just like, you know, a normal situation. I don't have it, I'm not going to do anything. But their job is to carry on the fakes, because one play in this offense sets up each and every. Watch it on this good picture we have from up top.
McDonald going down the line to change things up. Pitches it back on the run down the left side. Dropped the football. McDonald, did he get it back to save it? No signal yet on that sideline.
Water or what? What's the matter?
We got a player down. Now getting up. That is Dalen Brown, number 50, who was the last man to get up on that play. No signal at all on a recovery. That ball was dropped on the 18-yard line.
Brown with 13 sacks, a 2-year starter, 20.5 sacks on his career. They need him to be well.
Inadvertent whistle during a loose ball, by rule, we will replay the down.
We currently have fans from both sides with the same reaction to that one because both teams thought they had a big play there. Get the run.
So you saw a strip, heard whistle, saw recovery, but the key was a middle phrase, that's whistle. And once that whistle blows, the play is dead. Thus, there cannot be a fumble recovered by either team. So we'll replay.
Crete-Mone got inside the 20, was looking for the big play, and Brown fell on that ball after the inadvertent whistle. So replaying third down. Here's the pitch to Daigle, left side, tripped up, and that's a touchdown saving tackle on the sideline and a pickup of 10.
See Addison West, their best lineman. He's made his college commitment already. He gets out in front of Daigle, throws a block for him, and then taps him on the helmet. He's going to say, "Follow me" all day long.
Daigle got the corner, just tripped up. Kayvon Jones, number 21, saved the touchdown, at least for the moment. Under 3 minutes to go, opening quarter. It's Skoll right through the middle and across the 10.
7 yards on that fullback dive. Just riding a little bit of the belly right there, puts in his gut. At the same time, Skoll's eyes are up, reading the defense, knowing where he's going to make his cut.
Another handoff, Skoll to the end zone. 8-yard touchdown run, and the Trojans strike first.
Well, he leads the team with 1,234 rushing coming in. Semis, he had 18 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown, and he gets the first one on the board today on that little handoff. Watch the ride right there. And there's a huge hole. Blue shirts, 1, 2, 3 on the ground. Pancake blocks with a little bit of syrup on top, if you will, for Cary Grove's offensive line.
Redemption for Skoll. He fumbled on their first drive, scores a touchdown on the second. And the kick is good. Inside the left upright. Cary Grove has the 7-0 lead as they strike first against Crete-Mone. Skoll, touchdown Trojans. A 13-play, 78-yard drive covered 6 minutes to put Cary Grove on top, and Crete-Mone will go to work on offense. And Mark, they've faced some adversity all season long. Look at this. You played Lincoln Way East. They were top ranked most of the year. Brother Rice, they're going to play the 8A title game later on tonight. Morris was the runner-up last year in 4A, started 0-3. Coach Konecki said, we've been playing playoff football since September the 8th.
Yeah, and they've really rallied since then with that consecutive winning streak we see on the board, and then the playoff run. And that adversity continued in the playoffs with big-time games. They had to score on a 45-yard touchdown pass in the quarters. They needed a defensive stop in the a touchdown after an interception in the semis, and a defensive stop in the second round. So this team, they won't blink down one score. They wouldn't blink when they were down 0-3 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that long pass to beat Chatham Glenwood alma mater in week 2. Then they left out Washington in that next game, as you mentioned, but last week's the most impressive. They were down 35-23 with 1:40 to go. Touchdown on the road, too, by the way. Touchdown, onside kick, and then touchdown in the last 20 seconds. And I know Coach Konecki, we see, he was pretty hot with that inadvertent whistle as Brown had fallen on the ball, and then they give up the touchdown. But that's their adversity today. Yeah, so I think they kind of need the adversity. They feed off of it.
And they made some plays. I mean, Ronald Carroll got the onside kick. Daigle with the interception off of a jump pass in the end zone that would have solidified the game for Richards. And Then he scores the winning touchdown and a 2-point conversion to boot.
So Rudolph had the magic last week, and now hands off here. We see Venerable get the carry. Pickup of 8 for Amari Venerable, the senior. Rudolph to Johnson. Johnson spins and gets met just across the 40, but that's going to move the chains.
He is their playmaker receiving. 60 catches coming in, 1,039 yards, 9 touchdowns. Ricky Johnson, a big play man. We'll take a look at the Warriors game plan. We got Venerable, their best rusher at 869. Rudolph, he can find the end zone with 13 touchdowns, and we had just saluted Ricky Johnson with his big play potential. He's the guy right there that they'll go to when they go upstairs.
Jamal Safo's had a huge playoff run. He gets the ball here, and he'll get wrapped up at the 45. He went for 164 yards on 4 touches and a touchdown against Washington. He also had 133 yards through the air in that game and another touchdown. So total against the Panthers, who were number 1 in 5A throughout the regular season, moved up to 6A for the playoffs. Safo in that playoff game, 6 touches, 297 yards and a pair of scores. There's Rudolph, and he'll get the first down to the 45.
So Rudolph, a little bit of read zone of his own, picks up 9 yards on that carry. So much a part of football now is the read zone and play action and run pass option passes. It's all about the quarterback making split-second decisions depending on what the defense does. Watch the quarterback here. He's going to give it. No, he sees the end crash down. He keeps it himself. That is not a predetermined situation. That's a quarterback read decision.
Keeps it again, left side, and we'll get wrapped up there. Max Buss, number 36, one of the Trojans' returning starters on defense, gets the tackle, 6'1" senior.
And you were talking about Safo. He went into motion that time. They faked the jet sweep. Reason I bring that up, they will jet to him at some point. He is one of the fastest sprinters in the entire state of Illinois, says his coach, John Konecki.
He's also finished 5th each of the last 2 years in the state long jump as a sophomore and as a junior, so he's a 2-time state medalist in the long jump. His track and field season still to come again as a senior, and here's a completion to Johnson on the quick hitter to the sideline.
And this was a flat-out seed for 7 yards thrown by the quarterback, Rudolph, showing good arm strength. Watch the delivery. He's got one man in mind. Look at that tight spin and that spiral. Gets the ball to his playmaker out in space in a second. Good delivery, on time, on target.
They like to spread the ball around. This time, there's Rudolph in motion. The snap goes for a touchdown. That's Ricky Carroll Jr. going to the end zone. 37 yards. Carroll, touchdown.
Well, he played quarterback earlier in the year when there was some sickness by Rudolph. And you know what? As a backup, he came in that game and ran for 204 yards. He knows what he's doing. His speed cannot be simulated. Fake handoff there, zone read, makes one guy miss. And then it is acceleration as he enters the front door of the house.
And I had it right the first time. Ronald Carroll Jr., 7 plays, 71 yards, 228. He caps it off with the touchdown run. Scored 3 touchdowns against Bloomington in the playoffs, 18 on the season before today. Grace Miller converts the extra point, and we're knotted up at 7. Neither team had a good first drive, but both teams scored touchdowns on their second drives. We've got 6 seconds left in the first quarter, 7-all.
Well, what you have is Brad Seaber's Cary Grove team. All they do is average 42 points a game, 427 on a yard. And John Konecki, who's an offensive genius and works at things incredibly hard, his offense averages 38 points a game. So you might call a few more touchdowns here this afternoon, Nathan Valiva.
Rudolph went in motion. Carroll took that direct snap, and we talked about how they'd have 3 different guys throughout the day at quarterback. Vontrell Banks, number 14, is the other. He'll line up a wide receiver, but he'll also take some snaps as well. And Carroll and Rudolph just combined to get the touchdown. They're both out there on the kickoff coverage too.
So John Konecki, what that means is he's finding different ways to get his athletes, his best athletes, on the field with his skill positions and putting the pieces of the puzzle together as to what play, what scheme they're going to utilize, what quarterback. Some of that's predetermined, some of that's just a flat-out feel of the game by somebody that has great offensive awareness in Coach Konecki.
And none of them were the Southland Conference Player of the Year, because the Player of the Year was their offensive line, because that's what makes these guys go. And he nominated the offensive line as a unit to be the Conference Player of the Year, and the other coaches voted for him. Kickoff will bounce just across the 20. A lot of room on the return for Skoll to get close to the 40. 21 yards on that return for Blake Skoll to end the first quarter. Both teams scored on their second drive of the game. Skoll went into the end zone first, and Carroll went into the end zone second. 7-all in Champaign. Second quarter gets started with the score tied 7-all in the 6A state championship. Let's go down on the field and check in with Patrick Reed. Patrick?
Now, when Crete-Monee put that touchdown on the board, Grace Miller, the senior place kicker, was the one who knocked through the extra point. She is now 46 of 40 on PAT attempts this season. It's not necessarily unusual to have a female place kicker, even in this tournament. Maroa Forsyth had Riley Fitzpatrick kicking extra points yesterday, but Grace Miller, a 3-year starter on the girls' soccer team at Crete-Monee, and has adjusted to the job thanks in parts to her coach on special teams, Kathy Seifert, who is also her varsity girls soccer coach. Now, in guiding her transformation from soccer player to extra kicker, Kathy told me this week that there is hardly an adjustment for Grace Miller moving into that position. Now, what is unusual is to have a female assistant coach. There's a look at Kathy, and she is on her second year on the staff coaching special teams. And already today we've seen her put some wrinkles into the special teams, dropping back as many as 3 in punt formation and keeping Cary Grove on their toes today.
Thank you, Patrick. And snap on second down for Cary Grove on the left sideline and across the 50, and knocked out of bounds. There is Peroni. That's a connection through John Konecki, which we'll talk more about later with the 12-yard pickup, but a lot of experience coaching women's football, both in the Chicago area and around the globe.
Around the globe, exactly. Chicago Force, where he won a ring. Peroni, great speed to the outside. He was one of the key blockers. He and Jason Petke blocking on the edge on Daigle's game-winning touchdown last week.
Quickly across the 50 for the Trojans. McDonald keeping this one, and just a dive for 2. It's 2nd and 8 coming up for the Trojans.
Trojans not in any hurry-up mode in regard to the tempo of their offense. They go to the sideline, get the play. Ben McDonald gets it right from Coach Seberg, brings it back in. Again, they'll run most of the time out of a flex bone. They will spread it out at times. And yes, Ben McDonald can pass the ball when called to do so.
Been very efficient all season. Came into this game 85 for 119. Throwing the ball on the season. A handoff and breaking through the middle across the 35 near the 30 is Daigle. 16 on that run.
Boy, watch Daigle's hips on this one, because if you're viewing, it's good news. If you're watching, and he throws them there, and he throws them there, and he throws them there, and you're trying to defend, it's awful tough to square up as a would-be tackler would when a guy's got that kind of shiftiness.
Separated his shoulder last year. He's had to overcome some obstacles with injury, but Coach Seberg telling us one of the toughest kids he's been around. McDonald put it in the air. That is complete. Near the 22, Perrone. Got a catch for 16 in their Week 1 playoff win over Wakanda.
First pass completion. The good news here is he goes through his progressions. He's looking downfield first. He found his man on the second underneath route. So a quarterback that doesn't throw as much as his team runs, he looks downfield, nothing there. Looks underneath, on time, on target, calm, cool, collect, and complete.
Donald switching the play up. Pitches it towards Perrone, hits the ground, and he has to just dive on it to avoid disaster. Kayvon Jones, number 21, was right there to pounce. 2-yard loss for Perrone.
And it's all about reading keys for Kayvon Jones. First off, Perrone, great presence of mind. Don't try to pick it up and make a play. Just maintain ball security. In regards to the defense for Crete-Mone and their Warriors, one of the defensive ends or quarterback, one has pitchman, one has quarterback. That can change, and they have to mix that up in their defensive calls.
3rd and 3 up the middle for a first down and then some. With Blake Skoll, he gets across the 15. Another first down, a pickup of 9.
Skoll just so strong. He's only 5'9". That's a little guy, but he's big, and he runs with a 180-pound frame right into the teeth of defenses as a fullback, and he does a great job with kick-out blocks on defensive ends in the option game.
And quickly on McDonald that time, wrapping him down. And throwing for a loss was Nehemiah Lomax, a 5'9", 230-pound sophomore.
Crete-Mone can make some big plays defensively. They have a plethora of tackle for loss and sacks on the year. They got some quick guys for some big guys up front.
2nd and 11. Up the middle. Just shy of the 10 this time for Skoll.
If you watch the finish, we talked about it in the first quarter of a play. We said watch the skill guys and see them carry out fakes. Next play, take a look at the finish of the play and see how many blockers are downfield getting ready to make the next block downfield. These guys play to the echo of the whistle every time. Incredibly well coached in this system.
3rd and 7. Warriors fans making some noise. Donald going to keep it and go nowhere. Brown got there. Then Carroll and Elias were there to help him finish it off. Fugate as well. 4th and 7. At the 10. Nathan split the kicker on the stat sheet. 58 of 64 on extra points, but 0 of 0 on field goals. For the stat sheet that the Trojans provided, and a timeout here as they want to decide what to do. 4th and 7. We're going to take the break as well. 6:56 left to go in the first half, and we're tied at 7 in the 6A title game. Seven all here in Champaign. And Cary Grove fans, well, they might be lucky they're on that side of the field. They're also lucky it's not last night, the way they're dressed, or should I say not dressed. Look how bundled up the other side is, Mark, in the shade. What a difference it makes which side of the field you're on. The side we're looking at now with the Warriors fans, the press box side, they're all shaded, and across the way, the Cary Grove faithful in the sun, ready for a 4th down play. Fake pitch. McDonald looking over the middle of the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Zach Perrone. 10-yard touchdown strike.
What a well-executed play. The quarterback, McDonald, rolls to his right. And in his mind, he's looking right, but he knows Perrone's coming from the bottom of your screen to the middle of your screen, from left to right, and he dumps it right back into the middle end zone. An easy pitch and catch. Great call by Coach Seberg in execution. Now there's the left side of the screen, and he's not in part of the play. He's not involved in the play. But, oh, yes, he is. And it was all the look away by the quarterback, McDonald. His eyes took the defense to the far side of the football field, but he knew he was going to throw it back to Perrone.
Flag before the extra point here. An 11-play, 62-yard drive that took 5-10 off the field. And the second time today we've seen encroachment on an extra point. And time of possession is 8 minutes plus for Cary Grove. And moving the ball closer, I think they're going to go for 2 now.
Yeah, that's part
Dead
of their
ball,
offense.
Neutral zone infraction, number 21 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal, repeat the try.
And what a great shot we had of Perrone lining up on the left, and, you know, the drag pattern they used to call that. And McDonald knew his receiver was going to be coming toward him across the end zone.
Crew does a fantastic job all weekend providing us all the shots and sounds, all the pictures, and here's Daigle into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. He had one to seal the win against Niles Notre Dame to make it 28-21 after he scored the go-ahead touchdown last week, and now he's got the 2 for a 15-7 lead here.
Got 2 big old hogs in front of him, leading him to the promised land on that one for the 2-point conversion. So they're up at 15-7, and we'll get an opportunity to see that touchdown, which was so well executed, something you break down the film all summer long. See the isolation that we're going to have on Perrone right there. Look at him. He just kind of selling it. I'm not important. I'm not important. I know I am. Right behind the defense. He knew it. His quarterback knew it. Well designed, well executed. A 4th down play. And they put it on the board with some authority in an easy pitch and catch situation.
The 2-point conversion is, he gets Addison West headed to Western Michigan to seal that corner. And then Daigle can just walk in from there. An easy stroll for 2, the 15-7 lead. Yeah. McDonald now on the season. Mentioned that 1 interception that came in week 2. 19 touchdown passes. Is that a good ratio, 19-1?
I think that's pretty good. I think anybody would take that. Yeah, you talked about Addison West. He goes 275 and growing. The other guy out in front was Jason Benko, 6'2", 220. When you have 2 of your linemen out in front of you and not a blue shirt at all, you got to feel pretty good about getting in it for a yard and a half. Maybe you could have scored that 2-point conversion.
No, I still would have needed help. Somebody had to pick me up and carry me in.
I would have pushed you from the backside.
Drive took just over 5 minutes. You saw there 5 minutes 10 seconds as the Warriors had scored to end the first quarter. So now 15-7, and the ball blew off the tee a couple times, so they'll hold it up for Nathan Split. Kicks it short. Vontrell Banks is going to get tackled down between the 30 and the 35. We'll see where they put his forward progress. 34-yard line for Vontrell Banks, the senior who's played just about every position. Line up at wide receiver, line up in the backfield, and he'll line up and take snaps at quarterback, as Mark mentioned earlier this year when Rudolph was hobbled. There's Banks. Had a big day. Around 2 went 10 of 18 for 234. Handoff goes to Venerable. He'll pick up just a couple. 3-yard gain.
Rudolph had an enviable task because he won the starting job. We mentioned they're playing 2 and 3 quarterbacks, but he won it in camp. He replaced a 4-year starting quarterback in Isaiah Rucker. So when you have a guy around for 4 seasons in this system, then you got to be the next guy pulling the trigger. Yes, there's an expectation from you.
Throws a dart this time, maybe a little too hard for Safo towards the sideline.
First downs at this juncture of the football game, 6:15 to go. 11 first downs for Cary Grove. Crete-Monee, the Warriors, have moved the sticks just 3 times. So it's that ground attack, moving the chains for Cary Grove that has them ahead 15-7.
Well, look at this formation. We've got 2 in front of Rudolph, 2 split wide to the right, and everybody else, the other 6 are out to the left, and the 2 on the right took off. Well, they had some kind of fun trick play all set up to go.
And they jump.
And Sappho and Johnson both took off, and nobody else moved.
Now, people say, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? They're just making the defense adjust. Their alignment still has 5 offensive linemen down.
Dead ball. False start. Offense number 11 and 13. 5 yards to the previous spot. Keep it down. It is third down.
It's 11 and 13. Is it a 10-yard penalty? 2 guys.
Lisa said, but it's like when you get that, like everybody on the offensive line, you get that, like or everybody but the center.
There's the alignment. Great
You're gonna do it
shot
again.
of that.
3 coming at Rudolph. He sprints out to the right and will get across the 40. Picking up 8.
The bunch at the far side of the field, the top of our picture, they didn't do anything. I mean, they stood there. No one was involved in that play at all. Kind of weird that you have a formation like that, and the play was coming to the right the whole time. 4th and 4. Watch the up top. Are you standing there? Now, I know the line where they have nowhere to block, but even the receivers, the skill guys with the lower numbers, they're not really involved.
Make sure they don't go downfield, too. That far sideline, just wander on down. Fugate to boot it away. This is the punt formation that Patrick told us about. Special teams coach Kathy Seifert, and we might have a delay of game here. Warriors been hurting themselves on this drive.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I don't think Coach Konecki thinks that was 25 seconds.
And the clock's right in front of the quarterback in the end zone. 5th penalty for Crete-Monee.
Fugate. The low punt. And that's going to roll out of bounds just across the 40-yard line. So the Trojans defense holds. They've got an 8-point lead in the 6A state title game. Cary Grove with the 8-point lead, 6:02 to go. We see Coach Konecki on the sidelines with his guys trying to get them fired up on defense here. They need to slow down the Trojans, who moved down the field on a 11-play, 62-yard drive that took 5 minutes and 10 seconds the last time they had the ball. They start this one on their own 37. And right up the middle is Blake Skoll.
You know, you watch that play, and first thing that popped in my mind as he picks up 6 yards is how many times have McDonald and Skoll met in a mesh situation like that? Handover. I mean, that's been done not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands of times. They know each other's hands and stomach pretty well.
2nd and 3. Handoff up the middle again. And that's going to be enough for the first down, I think, the way the line judge walked in from the near side. It is. 47-yard line. Priester goes out wide. Looking over the middle instead, and that is too far for Daigle.
So far today, the Crete-Monee offense has done a really good job. We have not called Dion Harry's name very often. Now, he's an all-state defensive lineman. And when they're negating him, he's going to line up a defensive end right here, number 52 for Crete-Monee on the near side. He's an all-stater, and he has not been in the backfield at all at this point. So good job by Crete-Monee on the focus. See him on your screen right there, hand in the dirt, coming in on an angle right now. 52 Harry, all-state defensive lineman.
Blocked the punt against Richards in the semi, blocked an extra point against Washington in the quarters. His Skull is going to carry defenders with him, and with his forward progress, he's going to be right at the sticks on that second down carry.
You know, football is, it's won a lot of different ways. One of the ways it's won is individual matchups. It's a team game, but is my tackle beating your defensive end? Is your linebacker beating my center? Is my wide receiver beating your corner? Individual matchups sometimes win football games, and they're ones coaches preach that they have to win the individual matchups up front.
Another first down for the Trojans. Skull again, picking up 8. The carry right up the middle.
So Skull, they say he's 5'9". When you watch him run, quite honestly, he probably runs at about 4'5", 4'6", and I don't mean speed, I mean height. He runs oh so low to the ground. He has his head up for vision, but his back is straight, a really low center of gravity when he carries the football. 30 carries, 167 yards for Cary Grove's run game.
McDonald keeps it this time across the 30, closing in on the 25. 8-yard pickup for McDonald.
Danny Daigle said Ben McDonald's our funniest guy. He's the one that keeps the team loose. He's the jokester, and he's the guy that is our leader both on and off the field.
First and 10. The 26-yard line. Another long drive for the Trojans.
And chewing clock and yardage at the same time.
Keeper here for a couple. One of the keys they talked about throughout the week was that they had long drives, and that meant that the Warriors' explosive big plays were kept on the sideline, and that's what they've done here these last 2 drives.
Simple game of football. You keep the best players on the boundary. You've done some. Current drive, 7 plays, 39 yards, and look at that clock continue to run, keeping Crete-Monee's offense on the boundary.
Their last drive was 11 plays over 5 minutes, resulting in the touchdown on the 4th down play. Here's Daigle, right side, looking for daylight. Tackled out of bounds.
Perone on the outside, West on the inside, leading that block. Perone's such a nice blocker for a wide receiver. Stalk blocking for 9 yards. Wide receivers are taught the ABCDs of blocking when they're on the outside. Attack, buzz, which means break down, get yourself set. Make contact, C, and then D, drive. Watch 15. A, B, C, D. Drive your man back.
Cary Grove, second charge, timeout of a half.
Cary Grove calling the timeout for picking up the first down. 2:43 to go here in the first half of play. The 15-7 lead. You can watch former Bears coach Dave Wannstedt break down the X's and O's of the Bears-Lions game. Don't miss touchdowns and takeaways presented by Inc. Law. Monday at 5:30 on NBC Sports Chicago. Bears fan hiding behind that Cowboys fan there.
He'll be watching.
That's right.
Here's your promo.
Both had successful turkey days.
Just an absolutely gorgeous day for football. And we had a great first game. And the second one has all the same makings. Wire to wire, play for play.
Loyola Catholic got revenge on Montini. Cary Grove looking to do the same to Crete, and McDonald's going to get spun down there. And of course, none of the kids playing in these games today were involved in those title games. Some of the coaches were on both sides, from JCA and Montini, and from both Cary Grove and Crete-Mone, but the fans were.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, you know, you talk about tradition in teams. Some people buy in, some people don't. But I do know that communities that support their team, players that support their team, they believe in perpetuating what is important to a program, and that's winning.
Pitch, trying the left side, Daigle. And then he wanted to cut back up, but he ran out of real estate. 6-yard pickup right at the 10-yard line. Clock stops with 2:02 to go.
Ronald Carroll on the tackle. There's another one. Ronald Carroll, he does everything. He plays quarterback. He runs the football. He plays defense. He recovers onside kicks in state semifinals with a minute to go. He just does a little bit of everything.
Big special teams play that kept them alive against Richards last Saturday on the road. Now they're looking for a stop. 3rd and 4 on the 9. Donald pitches. Peroni to the end zone. Diving. Pylon. Out. Just shy. Went out before he knocked over the pylon.
Peroni is having a whale of a game. He's caught a pass. He's made some key runs. He's made numerous key blocks. He's a weapon. Dale leads him out in front, tries to get to the edge. He could flat out run.
Did pick up the first down. That was a 3rd down play. He dove for the pylon. 1st and goal on the 1. And plunging over. Touchdown, Trojans. The quarterback, Ben McDonald, finds pay dirt. 2-possession lead for Cary Grove.
McDonald, 23 touchdowns coming in. He just shoots right over the right side of his line. West was the leader once again. He's a big, strong kid at 6'2", 190, prototype QB. Takes a little bit of dive, design run right over the right side.
Last time they jumped off sides on the extra point. This time they stay put, and Nathan splits the uprights. 12 plays, 63 yards for 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So those last 2 touchdown drives, this one capped off by McDonald. The last 2 drives have gone 23 plays for 9 minutes and 20 seconds. For 125 yards. So 9:20 in this quarter, they've had the ball.
You talk about efficiency, you just saw it. You talk about execution, you just saw it. You talk about a well-oiled machine offensively, possession time is a storyline. What you have right now is Cary Grove has had the football over 16.5 minutes, and Crete under 5.5 minutes. So you have a keep away and a machine that offensively is clicking on all cylinders. And, you know, Coach Seaberg said we've answered every challenge this year. Well, they've answered this one thus far in outstanding fashion.
Well, from what I've seen out of the Warriors, watching film and watching games on NFHS and on Twitter over the last 3 weeks, they might have Cary Grove right where they want them, because they seem to play at their best when they get down by 2 scores, and then boom, 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 right down the field, get the ball back and go do it again.
Yeah,
that's what they did against Glenwood. That's what they did against Washington. That's what they did against Richards.
Yeah, down 2 scores against Richards, the most difficult of those comebacks, I would say, with only 2 minutes to go. They never flinched. Ronald Carroll said, Coach told us we still got it.
Carroll grabs the kickoff and goes down at the 33. The key word that Coach Konecki said to us was panic. They just don't panic in any situation.
And you know, if Coach says his team doesn't panic, I'm going to pat him on the back, give him kudos. because the team takes on the persona of its coach. So when John Konecki says we're okay, when John Konecki says we get it done, when John Konecki says it's all right, his team just feeds and thrives off of that.
1st and 10, minute 52 to go. 67 yards to cover. Rudolph fires a bullet, complete for Ricky Johnson.
That is a flat-out C. Well-thrown ball for 14 yards. Ricky Johnson, well-run route, turning. And as the ball was coming, Johnson was turning and grabbing that, snatching it with his hands like a rebounder with a basketball.
First and 10, bobble snap. Rudolph just going to scramble. Now he throws to Johnson. Johnson breaks the tackle to the 27, still going, and finally brought down. That's a broken play. It ends up being very successful for 26 for the Warriors.
You talk about a sandlot. Here it is. Fumble. Where's that? I got it. Stutter step, finds a man, throws a seed when he gets his shoulder square. And then this dynamic receiver, Johnson, he's a good one. Makes yards after the catch. 6'3", a senior.
Reverse and throw this time to the right side. Now they're throwing a little bit of everything from this offense. That one went to Rudolph for 7.
Plenty of time. Not need to hurry. 3 timeouts left for the Warriors.
So they'll get Banks involved and get Carroll involved. Now it's Rudolph to Johnson again.
Now they'll need a timeout.
And now they might want to spend one of those timeouts. Yep. Coach Konecki is on the field screaming for it. Clock stops at the 1st down anyway.
Smart play call. They do 2 things. They get the ball out, speed in space on the perimeter, and at the same time,
timeout.
They move the sticks.
Crete-Monee, their first charge timeout of the half.
He was trying to get out there right after the play and call a timeout. The official said, it's a 1st down. Let's get the ball down first, stop the clock, and you can take your timeout. So 44 seconds left in the half. 22-7 for Cary Grove, and his Crete-Monee works their way down the field. Let's take a look at their school bio from Will County in Crete. The enrollment of 1638. Blue and gold out of the Southland Athletic Conference for the Warriors of Crete-Monee, who won the state title in 2012 with current Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Laquan Treadwell as their star. Lance Lenore, who went on to play at Western Illinois and with the Cowboys as well, an alum. And here's Cary Grove from McHenry County, 1705, the enrollment. Blue and white, the school colors. Fox Valley Conference for Cary Grove, state champs in 09 when they beat Providence Catholic. Runner-up in 04, 12, and 14. Rudolph swarmed under and thrown back. Big time play. That time by Cary Grove's number 62, Mitchell Deck, for an 8-yard loss.
Well, that was a big push, a bull rush, if you will, right up the middle. Just push. Get some leverage against the line, using the hands, which a defender can do. And a big-time loss at a key time of this drive.
Jacob DiMatteo was in there as well. His father coached at Buffalo Grove. He had 6 tackles in the playoff win over Keeneland. Get a half there, so 8.5 sacks on the year for DiMatteo. Leader of the team in that category. 2 timeouts spent now by the Warriors. They've got 2nd and 18.
Keith McMaster, defensive coordinator of Crete-Monee, hoping he does not have to call another play on this half, but his offense stays on the field.
39 seconds left, and with the unique formation here. Again, and the fake handoff. Rudolph's going to keep it and go nowhere. Cary said, we'll just keep everybody in the middle of the field this time and come get you.
An adjustment.
Another timeout, which will be their final of the half.
Timeout. Crete-Mone.
They're going into the wind, which is not as strong as it was, especially this morning. Our 5A game was gusting well over 20 miles an hour. It was about 15 or so when this game started, and it's calmed down quite a bit here as the first half has progressed. You see those flags not moving nearly as briskly as they were this morning.
How about how well prepared Matt Furlong, defensive coordinator for Brad Sieber and Cary Grove, has been. His team responded very well. Those weird formations. You know, they call lunchtime in their football program, they call it film time. Yeah, they call lunchtime film time. It's kind of an expectation. It's not a rule, but it's a team thing. Take your lunch, brown bag it, and watch film. Pick up as many tendencies as you can. They're only going to rush 3 guys here.
Jake Johnson, the leader in that. Number 41 for the Trojans. Rudolph's going to put it in the air. He's got a man. To Sappho, that is complete. They don't have any timeouts. And they can't spike the ball because it is now 4th down.
So one shot to the end zone. They know it.
12-yard pickup. Eleftherio on the tackle.
They're totally under control right now.
Fake the handoff. Throw to the end zone. Johnson. Touchdown. 14 yards and no panic at all. Warriors into the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that when they stepped the line. You said no timeouts, they can't spike it. And they were not hurrying. They got set. They got the play call. An incredibly led drive right there by the entire offensive unit, led by the final culminating pass from Rudolph to his favorite target, Ricky Johnson.
Ricky Johnson with the reception. Look at Rudolph's reaction. Yeah, look to the sideline. Let's go.
I'm juiced. I'm juiced. And well, he should be with that late drive of the half. 8 plays, 67 yards, a $146. Very efficient 2-minute offensive drive right there.
Another flag. We've seen a lot of flags on the extra point attempts so far today for Rudolph. Passing touchdown number 12.
I like sitting next to you because every time you and I work together, we don't have good games.
Dead ball,
we have great games.
Substitution infraction in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
I thought you were going to say it's because you're taller than me.
Well, that too.
Another infraction against the Warriors on the extra point. The other one was when Cary Grove was going for the extra point, which resulted in the Trojans going for 2 instead of kicking. So now they're going to go for 2 as well. 3 in the backfield. Carroll, right side, not going to get there. So 9-point lead for Cary Grove. 6 seconds left in the half.
You know, I know we had it on the graphic earlier, but this team lost to Lincoln Way East, Brother Rice, and Morris to start the season. That's worth repeating because they're 0-3, backs against the wall. We've well documented their 3 late victories in the last 3 rounds of playoffs, and then trailing a little bit here. Absolutely no panic by the Warriors in that drive. That was about as impressive as you can be, chasing 2 situations that they were chasing 2 scores. And there's a look at that schedule.
Yeah,
that's a juggernaut, isn't it?
I mean, those top 2, I mean, those are 2 of the best teams in 8A throughout the entire season. Morris was the 4A runner-up last year, and they ended up missing the playoffs this year, and then got going the next week with 66 points against Bloom Township. A 1-possession win over Rich East, a couple of blowouts in there, and a 4-point win over Benton Harbor, Michigan before the playoffs.
And then once you get going, 0-3, you're averaging over just 16 points a game. What's wrong with our offense?
Yeah, that's right.
Last 6 games, 45 points a game. What an awesome offense.
They had a team event the day after losing to Morris. Yeah. They were tearing down an old high school in Crete. And Coach Konecki said he hadn't said a word. He was just sitting there and he watched the guys put together their own assembly line. They were moving things around, and people were coming over and saying, you know, oh, we thought your guys would be heartbroken or kind of down after the loss yesterday. And he said, as this kick's going to go out of bounds for an infraction there. And he said, I told the guys the next day that if they could work together like that on the football field, the way they did tearing down the high school and the service project, that good things can happen. And that's what has happened from that point.
Kick out of bounds.
See, Ricky Johnson,
re-kick.
7 catches, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, and a big part of that last drive.
Big, tall, physical receiver. Not a doubt in my mind he has the ability to play at the next level. 6'3", 170. Hands, routes. Just a nice target to throw the football to.
Kick again because they're kicking into the wind, so Cary Grove will make them kick. Keep in mind, Crete-Mone won the toss. They deferred, so they will get the ball to start the second half.
Keep this on the ground and get any kind of return opportunity.
Now they're going to switch up. Switch spots.
A little bit of showtime.
Another kick to the sidelines, and again out of bounds.
Illegal procedure, free kick out of bounds on the offense, 5-yard penalty, free kick.
They're trying to negate the run back. That's the good news. The bad news is they've not been able to execute that kick. And at some point, I mean, honestly, you put it right down the field, keep it on the ground, make an up back field that there's not going to be a threat to return to the house. And there'd be, what, 3 seconds left for Cary Grove, a running predominant offense, to have 1 play.
Six seconds left, and
this Crete-Mone team has 3,464 rush yards coming in. That's really good without a 1,000-yard rusher. And that's really good. That just shows how many weapons they can distribute the football to.
Ball just went back another 5 yards.
Last 6 seconds taking 6 minutes.
And now back to where it was. Which makes sense. It was the second penalty. Should be at the 30. Chucky Smith, quarterback slash wide receiver slash kicker, because everybody on the Warriors has a slash to their position. Trojan student section starting to have a little bit of fun with these. Everybody run to the line, fake kicks.
Cary Grove fans applauding him as well.
Yeah. Third time's the charm on the kickoff. Yes, indeed. Back to Daigle. Takes it at the 20. Makes 1 miss. Gets tripped up to the 40, and the clock will run out. So much of it to do about nothing on the kickoff.
And they kicked it to Daigle anyway. A guy that could explode for a while.
22-13 is our halftime score after the Warriors get down the field, out of timeouts, and score on their last play of offense from the first half. And they've got the 9-point deficit, but that's where they've been throughout the playoff run, trailing in the second half and able to overcome.
Well, they've won 11 consecutive conference titles. That is quite a feat to be on top of your league year after year after year, time +8.
Cary Grove Trojans heading into the halftime locker room with the 9-point lead.
And their fans having a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah, a lot of fun. They see themselves on the video board and all start to.
Big turnout of Cary Grove Trojan fans.
Cheer and go. They're looking to flip the script from the last time these two teams met in a state title. Let's head down onto the field. Chat with Coach.
Coach Brad Seberg, your offensive execution in the first half was excellent. How did you see it?
we just had the right plays called, and guys made key plays. That fourth down for the touchdown was big, and had some pretty good plays on third and fourth down conversions. So I want to keep that up.
How about your quarterback, Ben McDonald, and his game management?
He's been great. He's been great all year. Does an outstanding job. Tough kid, and he's really showing that in the first half so far.
All right, have a good second half.
All right, thank you.
Thanks to Coach Seberg for joining Patrick. It's halftime, 22-13, Cary Grove on top in the 6A title game.
Cary Grove 22, Crete-Monee 13, as we have hit the half in our 6A IHSA title game, our second game of the day here in Champaign. Standing at field level inside Memorial Stadium alongside my partner Edgy Tim. I'm Patrick Reed, and Edgy, in that first half, obviously Cary Grove controlled the ball, controlled possession, doing what they do, and it was successful for them.
Very successful. I mean, if you're Cary Grove, Patrick, I think this is exactly what you wanted going in. We talked about it in the pregame as well, but you saw those glimpses of what Crete can do. I mean, maybe one of their biggest plays was a broken play, and that's the type of offense that this Crete team has. So, again, definite contrast, but again, the power running game, getting it done. Blake Skull as well. Again, just very efficient.
Skull really finding those tough yards, his offensive line paving the way through the middle to allow him to do what he does, nearly 6 yards a carry.
Well, and again, I thought Mark alluded to it great. You mentioned leverage as well with him, and again, through the middle, he's just really low to the ground. Low man generally wins.
Managing the game, Ben McDonald making the running game work for Cary Grove, and going back to his game management, has not had to throw the ball well, but we go to the play where he took it in the air, took it off the right side and took it into the end zone, as it being a play where he drew the defense and made something work.
He is, and believe me, Cary Grove has got that in their back pocket. Ben's been very efficient this year in the passing game, and we talked about it after that score. That is the difference this year in this Cary Grove offense, is the fact that Ben, besides being a great game manager, he's got a pretty accurate arm, and he can get the ball out to different receivers. So believe me, I know Coach Seberg, he's got that in his back pocket in the second half.
Not only was he able to move, he was able to throw it across his body to make that throw right in the middle of the end zone.
Big, strong kid. That is not an easy throw. And again, you talk his size and his strength and his physicality, he can get it done.
Here's a look at the play. The Ben McDonald touchdown pass. He goes off that right side and goes right to the middle of the end zone through the seam to find Zach Perot.
Again, just a big, strong kid, and again, able to find the receiver in the middle of that grouping there. And again, just he's a very capable passer, and I think we'll see maybe a little bit more of it here in the second half.
Among other things that the Trojans did well in the first half, they didn't commit many penalties.
No.
They didn't spend a lot of time on the field defensively. Is that going to be a problem?
No, you want to.
Well, you don't.
This offense wants to stay out there. This offense is designed for long drives, and longer time of possession, the better for Cary Grove. So that's what they're looking for. And as we talked about, it's also scary because how quickly this Crete team can turn around and score. So again, it's the great contrast in this ballgame.
And that's almost why I asked that. As they get back on the field defensively, Crete-Monee takes it down the field, scores really one of their best chances of the first half to end the second quarter.
Yeah, no question, something to watch for sure. And you'll maybe see a little bit of that fatigue, certainly in the linemen. That's always a key. You'll watch how the linemen are coming out of the huddle, coming to the line and breaking, and you can notice that sometimes. We'll keep an eye on that.
Certainly helps to create the separation. Cary Grove did exactly that, scoring 15 points in the second quarter on the way to a 22-13 lead here at halftime in Champaign. We'll come back. We'll take a closer look at Crete-Monee and what they need to do in the second half next.
The 2018 IHSA Football State Finals are brought to you by Country Financial. At Country Financial, we know preparing for your financial future can feel overwhelming. We want to help you take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com. And by UC Bank. UC, your dream, our promise.
The band performance, a mark of halftime in the IHSA championships. The Class A championship sees Cary Grove with a 22-13 lead over Crete-Monee at halftime. And Edgy Tim, if we're talking about Crete-Monee, that last touchdown just before halftime was key for them to stay in this game and continue to have some confidence going forward.
Absolutely huge, as we talked about. I mean, time of possession really Cary Grove most of the momentum, and you needed to get a score out of that, and they were able to convert. And again, reflecting on, you know, basically a broken play, and a couple plays later you're in the end zone, and that is how quick they can flip the script with this offense on Cary. And again, it's certainly defensively with the fumble recovery, and again, you're able to turn that around quickly and punch it in for a score.
Yeah, the Warriors caused a lone turnover of the first half, and they can certainly make some magic. They've been capable of doing it all season, and even in the second quarter, to get into position to get this touchdown, it required some of that magic.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you have multiple weapons on this offense, too. It's just not one or two guys. You got 5, 6, 7 guys that can rotate different spots. That's another to keep an eye on, is John Konecki might start moving a few kids, maybe getting Ronald Carroll Jr. a couple of different spots. So definitely something to keep an eye out for in the second half.
Well, if you're talking about players that can make things happen, Trayvon Rudolph is certainly somebody you should be talking about. 8 of 9 in the first half and a touchdown.
He's had a really strong year, and I know that, you know, he missed a week or two with an injury, but really overall he's been very solid all season for Crete, and a big reason why they're down here. And again, he's another kid. You can play him in a couple of different spots, and they will if John feels the need to mix things up a little bit. So again, going to be fun to watch here in the second half.
All right, Edgy, we saw some unique formations from Crete-Monee in the first half. Special teams, especially the lonesome polecat was something we saw. What is that?
The lonesome polecat goes back to the 70s with Mouse Davis, legendary offensive coordinator, and this has been run on a high school level quite a bit. And what you're doing is you're just kind of getting a one-on-one. You're purposely sending the lineman off to the other side of the field, so it basically becomes a skinny guy game, if you will, and very, very effective. So again, you know, you bring all this stuff out, you run it in practice, and this is what you do in a state title game. If you've got an advantage off that, you might see that formation again if things line up. I guarantee you the Crete coaches are looking at the film to see how well Cary reacted to that.
And when you join us on a Saturday afternoon, you get some story time with Edgy Tim.
Sit kids, and Uncle Edgy will spin you a few stories.
Thanks, Tim.
No
it's
problem.
Halftime in Champaign Memorial Stadium, Class 6A IHSA Championship. Cary Grove with a 22-13 lead on Crete-Monee. Second half comes your way next.
First half stats with Cary Grove on top 22-13. And Mark, look at that time of possession. Almost 17 minutes to just over 7 minutes total. We thought the rush yards and pass yards would be the way they are right now, but that clock really favors the Trojans.
Well, 16 first downs to 7. And we talk about time of possession. 40 plays run for Cary Grove, 21 for Crete-Monee. That's a storyline in itself.
Kickoff to start the second half, which the Warriors will pick up just across the 30, and that's where they will get started with the third quarter. Nathan Believe and Mark Lindo with you up in the booth. We've got Edgy, Tim O'Halloran, and Patrick Reed down on the field as well. We're bringing the inside here from the second half at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. Just moments ago, in fact, Patrick caught up with John Konecki.
Back at Champaign at Memorial Stadium just before the start of the second half here with Coach Konecki, and that was a big touchdown to get back into things at the end of the second quarter.
Definitely made it, put us in a 2-score game right now, and it's a message to everyone inside that we got to get a stop. We think we can get a stop. We'll be all right. And we've been there before. We've been down multiple times throughout the playoffs. Our guys are very comfortable. We'll make some adjustments. We'll come out fighting.
I know that your schedule in part prepared you for moments like this. What did you see as the year went on that makes you think this team can get back in and win a title?
I think really, at the beginning of every year, you want to play for a state title, and so that's all we talk about. We talk about winning conference championships, going to the state playoffs, and then we told the kids that we were playing playoff football from week 4 on. And once we decided to play as a team, we became unstoppable.
All right, go be with your team. Good luck in the half.
Coach Konecki with his team rolling here through their first drive of the second half. A couple of pass completions, and they've got a 3rd and 1 on the 39-yard line.
So they came out game plan-wise, trying to go a little bit more spread. Now 3rd and short, they're going much tighter. A little bunch set on the left side.
Carroll breaks through, heading to the races, tackled from behind. Last gasp tackle. Looked like he was gone. 33 on the carry for Ronald Carroll Jr.
Well, we had just described it for you. They had spread and spread. Then 3rd short. Watch it throw it inside. Carroll gets one cut, boom, to the inside. And then it looks like he's going to house it before an ankle-grabbing tackle, saving on touchdown by number 32. Nice stop.
Pass completion. The right side, Sapo inside the 15. Now the Warriors offense is clicking. 16 yards on that completion.
In gear, they're really mixing in the pass. Getting the ball out on the edge in a hurry. They're trying to create speed in space right now, part of this game plan.
Ball at the 12. Rudolph keeps, and nowhere to go. Max Buss was in there to bring him down. So was 45, and DiMatteo was in the backfield quite a bit in the first half.
Well, that was really a fundamental play by DiMatteo, senior defensive lineman, because he was faked out once, was able to regroup, solidify, square his shoulders, and make a tackle.
Rudolph wants to throw out of bounds.
Rudolph's pass
fastball at Johnson that time. Sailed out of bounds.
37, Dimitri.
3rd and long for the Warriors. They did just convert a 3rd down on this drive.
Warriors love to roll the pocket to the right. Now that's a tendency they pick up on. Do they have a throwback in their package? When flow goes right. John Konecki, good picture of him. Offensive guru, loves the game of football.
Rudolph rolls, scrambles back the other way, takes a big loss. DiMatteo again. Double-digit loss on that one of 11.
DiMatteo putting up some defensive numbers. Just total pursuit of the football. His brother was a defensive end here. His dad was a high school head coach. Plays with a really high motor. He just jumps out at you in film like that.
4th and 23. Rudolph completes it, but that's going to be well short what they needed for the first down. Complete to Johnson to the 10, and they needed the 2. Turnover on downs. That's the first time either team's been stopped in the red zone today. Trojans ball when we come back to Champaign.
IHSA website on the internet. Check that in and you want to find out immediately what's happening in high school activities. IHSA already your homes for scheduled scores and more.
Cary Grove, the road to the 6A championship game. Here is their playoff run, 49-7 and 38-6 in the first 2 weeks. Some big blowouts, and then a big battle against Chicago Phillips, a 10-point win. Had to come from behind to beat Niles Notre Dame in the semis. 2 big-time wins for Coach Seberg and the Trojans in the quarters and the semis. And a run here up the middle for a minimal gain.
In that playoff run domination, they had an 18-0 third quarter blitzkrieg to pull away from Kalen in that second round. Then Phillips, we had already mentioned the fake punt, which was key to keeping the Wildcats offense off the field end. And then, of course, the Notre Dame game, it was Daigle interception, it was Daigle touchdown, it was Daigle 2-point conversion during those 3 games. Those were the highlights of their run.
2nd and 6. Pitch back. This is Daigle. Daigle right side. Cuts back up the middle and gets to the 20. For a gain of 6 right at the sticks. See where they put the ball down, if it's enough for the first down yardage. Looks like it's going to be just short.
Both these teams were at the brink of not being here.
That's right. Just a week ago. Run across the first down marker. Pick up a 3 for a first down. It was a lot of fun juggling between all the broadcasts last week online with all the games that were coming down to the wire. There was this one. There was the Rochester Bishop Mac game, games involving both of these teams. There was the overtime game for St. Charles North, and then the Loyola Academy, Lincoln Way East. Just some fun games, just kind of clicking through different screens.
Big time battles.
1st and 10.
Watch them all on huddle, get prepared for the playoffs, and get to watch an awful lot of good athletes going at each other.
1st and 10. McDonald spinning, picked up a couple of more. You can see the contrast in styles when the Warriors have it, boom, 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 down the field. And when the Trojans have it, take their time, huddle up, take 20 seconds off the play clock, and get it all on the ground.
That's why the time of possession is so extreme in the favor of Cary Grove. They not only use clock by getting first downs, but they use clock by time of possession in the huddle and such.
McDonald hands off up the middle here. Did not get it. Didn't get anything for Skoll that time. 3rd and 5. See what they run here. Deep in their own territory.
Well, it should be a zone read zone between he and Skoll. That's their bread and butter. Quarterback, fullback, read the defense, make the decision.
And a flag. And again, as we saw earlier, both teams blaming the others. See what the call goes here. Jason Gray and his crew.
If it's a first down, it was created by Ben McDonald's voice.
It was. It's an offside against the Warriors.
So let me take a shot explaining that.
Dead ball.
I say his voice.
Defense, 5-yard penalty. Result is a first down.
Quarterback has a cadence. He usually has the same voice, but if you're trying to draw the defense offside with your voice, you'll either change the cadence or you'll project differently. You'll project differently, and the defense reacts adversely to that. Encroachment, 5-yard penalty, move the sticks.
McDonald keeping across the 40, a pickup of 8. Coach told us that they had to stay penalty-free. Coach Konecki, that is, and that was their 9th penalty of this game. And when you look at them,
look at that stoic look.
Their penalties really cost them a couple of points, too, because they had one penalty where they ended up going for 2. They didn't get it. And they had another penalty that allowed Cary Grove to go for 2, which they did get. Otherwise, we'd be looking at 21-14 right now without those penalties. Here's Daigle, short of the 50. Now, 2 of those penalties on the 7-yard pickup here didn't really matter. They were on the kickoff with 6 seconds left. They moved it back, and that just made us sit here and watch 3 different kickoffs, but it didn't really affect the game at all.
Now they moved Deion Harry, the All-Stater, from the right side, the left side of the offensive line of Cary Grove, to the right side. We said he'd been somewhat quiet. The reason we bring him up, he is their biggest disruptor. He's their havoc man. He's their playmaker, and he has not had a major impact on the game yet. Major impact on that play. It was a nice one-on-one tackle by Terry Elias.
6'5", 265 for Deion Harry. Here is Skoll right up the middle. The 3.
Boy, it's just yardage, time, yardage, time, yardage, time. And each of those ball security keep Crete-Monee's offense on the boundary where they can't do any damage. And Trayvon Rudolph and company can't create plays when the offense is on the boundary. 10th play of this drive.
Another run right up the middle. Pickup of 5, so 3rd and manageable for the Trojans here.
And that was a change in the Warrior defense. They went with a 5-man front. They put a man right on the nose of the center. So they've been going 4-man front. They put an extra guy in there. And what that does is that creates a little bit more havoc in blocking assignments of the offense.
3rd and 3.
Keith McMaster, defense coordinator of the Warriors.
Right at the 40. Let's see where they spot this ball. He's going to be very close. It's 3rd and 3. And it is enough for the first down. Just across the 40. Move those chains.
Clock continues to run. Plays continue to accumulate. First downs continue to mount. Trojans shortening the game. 6 minutes already in this drive.
Another run. Skoll to the 35. 5-yard pickup again.
Skoll just so low when he runs with the football. Yeah, he can bust one, but he's more between the tackle. I'll take my 4 or 5. I'll set up second and short for my teammates. You bunch it on the inside, they'll kick it to the outside with a running game.
7-yard average on the season. Daigle's about 12 yards on the season.
Skoll down on one knee. Look at this football stance here right before the signal's called. There he goes.
This time they do pitch it. Fumble, Peroni. Did he get it back?
Zach Peroni.
He did. Near miscue, -1. That's the second time today, Mark, that Peroni's had to recover his own fumble.
Dallin Brown got in there. I don't know if he has a forced fumble or if he was just in the neighborhood. We know that 6'1", 230-pound senior. We talked about him having 13 sacks this year, 2 years, 20 and a half. He really sets the edge. He did so that year. Drove Peroni back to the inside.
Fell on top of the missed pitch from McDonald in the first half. Now it's Daigle making players miss. Gets down near the 20. First down Trojans on 3rd and 6, a 15-yard pickup.
A hop, a skip, and a jump on that run. Watch the balance, the agility, the vision, and then finally the power to finish the run. A little bit of fake handoff. Nice job downfield, blocking by the big tight end tackle, Jack Riley.
Minimal gain on first down here for Skull. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter, another long, methodical drive for Cary Grove.
You know, it's so cool to watch symmetry between offensive line and great backs, because as there's been 8 minutes on this drive, when the backs do well, the line loves it. When the line does well, the backs love it, because they're going to reap the benefits.
McDonald keeping to the 15-yard line, a pickup of 3, and another very short third down for the Trojans.
We talked about that winning drive after the interception against Notre Dame. They went 80 plays, 11 plays, 80 yards in that one. So they know how to get it done, field to field, end zone to end zone.
3 for 4 on third down in the first half for the Trojans, plus 1 for 1 in fourth down situations. That was a touchdown play. The fourth down. 3rd and 3. They need the 12. Skull going to be very close to that marker. Dinky got it. Yep, they put that football down closer to the 11.
I'll tell you what, the chain gang,
they're getting a workout.
They're getting their exercise moving down the field.
They're getting their steps in. That's the key.
18th play of the drive. 18 plays. Are you kidding me? Impressive.
McDonald's going to keep it again to the 8. Pickup of 3, and they can run out the third quarter on that one if they so choose. Turn around or walk to the other end of the field. See what they want to do. McDonald over to talk to Seaberg, who I think was just told the same thing. Yep, they're going to take a break, walk it on down. They've had the ball for the last 9 minutes and 48 seconds of the third quarter, and Cary Grove will start the fourth quarter with a 9-point lead and the ball. The 6A state title game. Warriors having some fun on the sidelines. They're hoping they've got another comeback in them. And they're getting all the fans riled up on that sideline. But it's been Cary Grove on this drive. How about it so far, Mark? 18 plays, 82 yards, and just under 10 minutes of possession. 9:48 as they start the fourth quarter with the ball inside the 10. This drive started on the other 10. 2nd and 7, and that's going to go nowhere. So we're going to get a 20-play drive.
And with all the misdirection and reads and such they have to do to play error-free football. You know, sometimes coaches talk about winning games. Sometimes coaches talk about losing games. You can beat yourself. Right now, Cary Grove, 7 for 8 on third down right now. And that's why they've been able to move the sticks. An impressive drive we've been talking about. They have the football. They've had the football over 27 minutes. And Crete-Monee has had it less than 10.
They're 4 for 4 on this drive on third down. They're going 3 for 4 in the first half. McDonald get across the 5-yard line. They did have one mistake on this drive. Peroni fumbled, but he fell on top of it. That was an opportunity for the Warriors to get Cary Grove off the field.
You know, it's 3rd and 4 for the first down, 3rd and 5 for a touchdown. It would only be appropriate if fourth down. It would only be appropriate if they got a first down and then ran a couple more. So big fourth down play.
Now, last time they had fourth down, it was 4th and goal, and they threw the ball. With the pass completion for a touchdown to Peroni. Let's see if they throw the ball here. Warriors with a chance to get off the field. He is going to throw. Puts it into the air towards the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans! Quinn Priester's first catch of the day.
There it was. He targets him in the end zone, the guy that we've been talking about. And he did exactly what we had anticipated, and that's use that frame to catch the ball at its highest point. He did just that with that great catch. Watch him go up and get it and snare it down. Priester at 6'3", and what a great throw, because he threw it where his man had that height advantage. It's like a rebound going up and getting it. And you read that scoring drive, it's pretty impressive.
Cary Grove.
21 plays,
time out of the hat.
90 yards, 11 minutes and 19 seconds off the clock. They call timeout here.
And don't you think for a minute that this isn't planned. Don't say, oh, lucky he was taller than him. His quarterback knows exactly where he was throwing the ball, because they've schooled that one up a bunch of times. Watch the ball go up top over the DB. He had a height advantage over the cornerback right there. Jamal Seymour, 6 foot. That's a pretty good size cornerback, but 6'3", and the athletic Priester jumps up and wins the tip.
I'll tell you what, you watch Ben McDonald on the end of that play, you wouldn't know whether he just threw a touchdown, his second of the day in a state championship game, or if he threw an incomplete pass and missed the guy by 20 yards in week 1. Just stoic as could be, no reaction. All right, I'll just walk off the field now. After throwing a touchdown pass to Quinn Priester, he's thrown 3 passes today, and 2 of them, or he's completed 3 passes, and 2 of them have been for touchdowns on 4th down calls.
Yeah, pass efficiency. And we've been saying, where's Priester? Where's Priester? They saved him for a pretty crucial time deep in the red zone. Threw it up and above, and he pulls it down.
They're going to go for 2 here, which would make this a 3-possession game. Daigle flips it back. Priester throwing and intercepted. So intercepted in the end zone by Sellers. Unreturnable, so they were trying to make it a 17-point game, going for 2 instead of a 16-point game with the extra point. Let's take another look as Cary Grove extends their lead. McDonald, Priester, touchdown Trojans. Coming up next, 4 p.m., our Class 7A championship on NBC Sports Chicago Plus. 4 o'clock kickoff. St. Charles North, the state title game for the first time. They take on Nazareth Academy, runner-up in last year's 6A title game. Dave Bernhardt and Hub Arkish will be along for the 7A title game. Coming up after this one and moving over to NBC Sports Chicago Plus for that kickoff. Here it is 28-13 with Cary Grove on top. Holding the kickoff. They didn't get much distance into the wind on that one. Banks, little trickery, giving up yardage and going nowhere. Cary Grove has been ready for every trick play that the Warriors have thrown at him so far today.
And once again, it's Peroni. Peroni has had a day. Number 15, young man. You know, you're not one of the most heralded guys, but you're flat out making plays on special teams, catching the ball, blocking the football. I mean, blocking for his teammates. A whale of a game for number 15, Peroni.
Gave up about 12 yards from where they caught that kickoff. Now it's Rudolph dropping back, throwing. Ooh, nearly picked off. Should have been.
So an adjustment again by Cary Grove. Football's a game of adjustments. Matt Furlong, who normally likes a 3-4 defense and some 3-3. He's rushing 3 right there, but he's putting now 8 into coverage, basically a dime package. So what it is for Trayvon Rudolph is more people to look at. Now they switch it back to a 4-man front.
Eleftherio nearly had the interception. Now that one's overthrown by Rudolph, who started the ball game 8 out of 9. Missed a couple in a row on this drive. 3rd and 10.
So Matt Furlong really trying right now to dial up some different looks up front, confusing the blocking scheme, but even more, how many white shirts right now does Trayvon Rudolph have to survey in the secondary of Cary Grove?
3rd and 10. Rudolph 11 out of 16 for a $133. Touchdown pass to Johnson. Sappho went in motion. Rudolph scrambling. Brought down just shy of the 30. Warrior sideline was looking for a face mask, and it's a 6-yard pickup by Rudolph. And a crucial 4th down here. Clock ticks under 10 minutes.
Mitchell Deck with a nice tackle from behind. And we've been talking about people in the box all day. Cary Grove taking people out of the box right now, playing really deep in this would-be pass situation.
Everybody just moved. Let's see where this goes. They were going for one of their unique formations again, and 2 linemen moved over to the left. Fugate and Ambrose and Cary Grove reacted, and they came across the line, so that's going to be offside.
Dead ball, neutral zone infraction, defense number 51. 5 yards penalty, result is a 1st down.
So a 1st down on a penalty. Not many penalties against the Trojans today. They put a very clean game. One in the first half. Now one here. Rudolph sprints out to his right. Going for it all. And overthrowing the intended target down the sidelines. That was Johnson.
Well, he threw that ball 55 yards in the air, looking for his main man, if you will. He really likes to target number 11, Ricky Johnson.
Second and 10.
You see him looking downfield. He had a couple opportunities to look below, but he went for the long shot downtown.
Mitchell Deck just kind of bounced off of him, didn't he? Went to hit him and took the worst of it. Handoff here. Venerable gets to about the 40, a 5-yard pickup on 2nd down.
Venerable, their second leading rusher. He's been pretty quiet today at 13 rushes, 79 yards. In an earlier playoff game, he's got 869 on the season, but hasn't had that big chunk play tonight.
Rudolph keeping and gets just across the 40, a pickup of 2, and another 4th down coming for the Warriors.
Skull with a great one-on-one stop. Watch him come right into your picture. Kaboom. And he just goes right at the legs, and he's feeling it. Pretty excited.
Different packaging now. Rudolph is out. He and Sappho came to the sidelines, and Carroll lunging forward, stopped by the Trojans. They get the turnover on downs. Jake Johnson celebrating, heading off the sidelines. The Trojans defense gets the stop after they converted the 4th down for a touchdown. Trojans will get the ball back, up 15, looking for a state title.
Jake Johnson on this stop with a good strong hit. They call him Stumpy. He's the kind of guy that makes plays for them on the inside. He's missed last year because of a back fracture. He comes right back to play in a state championship. Good storyline there. His mantra, we aim to stop the run. They just did that.
Speaking of the run, they go to the left side. And a pickup of 1. Long 2nd down, and Cary Grove's going to look to chew up as much clock as possible. Went over 11 minutes on their last drive. Time of possession in this game, 26:42 to 9:18.
The old game we played when we were young, keep away, right?
That was the end of the third quarter, so a couple minutes to add in there here in the fourth for Crete, but not much. Here's Daigle. Daigle across the 40. Goes down there. So third and long.
And I flat out guarantee you, Crete-Monee still believes they're going to win because they've been there, done that. They did it with less than 2 minutes last week. But they know they need the help of a turnover. Can they create one right now on this series? That remains to be seen because the ball control and security has been impeccable tonight by Cary Grove.
Whistle, timeout, Trojans. That is their second of the second half as Cary Grove has the 15-point lead. We just talked about Jake Johnson, number 41. Patrick Reed's got a little bit more to add to a great story from Jake Johnson. Patrick, take it away.
Yeah, Mark mentioned the injury missing last year after a back fracture, and one of the things that Jake did was sign on with the team to become a manager. And I don't just mean that in the sense that he hung around practice or that he was out there in his gear. He actually went through the paces of a manager. He carried water, he spotted the ball, he handled film when somebody needed to handle video. But one of the things he also did was he listened. And Brad Seberg was really impressed with all of that, saying, I don't expect a 15-year-old to pick up what Jake picked up last year. The other thing he picked up, watching film as well. He's been one of the leaders in getting other guys on the team to do the same, spend the time, prepare for games. And it's showing right now as Cary Grove is on the verge of a state title.
Great stuff to add on Jake Johnson. A fantastic story. And now he's watching his teammates on offense carry the ball, pick up a 4 for Skoll, which will get to the 35.
Cole's yardage starting to increase as well. Bruising type runner on the inside. Another dynamite build by that young man.
4th and 3, the chance for Crete-Monee to get off the field and give the ball back to their offense. They've got all 3 timeouts to do the Warriors, but they need the pigskin.
Love seeing that helmet number 20 Skoll. He's got hit marks all over that thing.
Here he is again. First down, Trojans across the 30.
He is a warrior, fun to watch for 6. Get a picture of his helmet. Yes, he's got some stars on there, but look at the other side. If he turns for us, there's some war hits on there, man. Some scrapes. I think there's been some contact with that young man.
First down. Brother Max was the fullback for the last 3 years for the Trojans. Passed the torch on to Blake, who's one of the juniors on this offensive squad. He and 2 of the linemen. The only 3 juniors for the main 15 that we've seen on offense today. Another handoff. And it's Skoll up the middle again to about the 25.
Blake Skoll on the carry.
Prairie Ridge, a neighbor of Cary Grove, if you will. Running option offense. Cary Grove running misdirection option read offense. Both those rivals of each other, great respect for each other's program.
Yeah, the respect that both coaches talked about when talking about the other team. Coach Seberg saying about Crete and their comeback ability that it's been a lot of fun to watch. He said, I hope I don't watch it on Saturday, but it's been a lot of fun to watch from afar the last 3 weeks, how they're never out of a game, and they use that late minute magic. He just doesn't want to see it today. 5 minutes left in this one. See Coach Konecki on the sideline. What can they dial up on defense here to get off the field? Got a team that'll be in 4-down territory. We mentioned it earlier. Nathan Split with no field goal attempts on the year.
Plus, they're deep now, not yet in the red zone, but deep inside Crete territory. So they've already left them with a long field. They've already flipped the field position-wise.
3rd and 4. McDonald. First down, Trojans inside the 15. 7-yard pickup.
Just a quarterback power right there. And McDonald, oh so strong with his upper body, oh so strong as leader. Fakes the mess with the handoff, and just follows right up the back end of his guard in that situation. Number 63 it was with a nice block, Jake Packo.
They're over 30 minutes in time of possession now in this ball game. Impressive. Students having some fun with it as well. And the long possession as McDonald gets close to the 10. And they're right. So far, the Warriors have not been able to stop what the Trojans are doing on offense.
Well, the longer they stay on the field, the more tired they're getting as well, because they've been back on their heels most of this game, but definitely the entire second half. I mean, it's been Cary Grove's offense ability to stay on the field and grind yardage. Proper reads, proper execution, leadership by that young man coming into his huddle. He just exudes confidence. Confidence beyond what you would normally see from a guy who's a first-year starter. But you know what? The state championship game all season long, it's his team.
Fakes the pitch. McDonald rolls to the right. Scrambling inside the 10, and he'll go down just shy of the 5. He wanted to make sure he stayed in bounds there and keep that clock running towards the 3-minute mark. Third and 2.
John Konecki can't scheme against the clock.
That's right.
You can scheme against an offense, you can scheme against the defense, but you can't scheme against the clock.
Can only stop it 3 times. They've not used the timeout in the second half. But they got to get off the field to give the offense a chance. It's 3rd and 2. McDonald forward across the 5. Give him 2 yards right now. It was 3rd and 2, and I think we're going to have a measurement this time. See where they put the ball down. That's a first down. No measurement. 1st and goal at the 4. And now Coach Konecki is going to need to look at the clock and those timeouts and figure out when he wants to deploy them.
You can't take them with you. And it doesn't matter if you have them. If you don't get, you need 2 possessions.
Your 1st and goal and just off of the play clock. They can run a minute 40 out of what was 2:20 left if you don't stop the clock. 5 on the play clock here. 1st and goal with the 4. McDonald runs, lunges for the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. Ben McDonald has had a day to remember for Cary Grove.
And he lunged for the touchdown. He probably just lunged for a state championship as well with that exclamation point. What a ball game he played.
An offensive lineman lifted him up. An 11-play, 42-yard drive that covered 627, and he rolls right into Zach Peroni, who was standing in the end zone waiting for him. McDonald's thrown for 2. He's run for 1. The extra point for Cary Grove is good. The lead is 35-13 with 2:01 to play. And the Warriors, who've had a lot of magic in the last couple of minutes of games in the month of November, they need 3 touchdowns in 2 minutes and 1 second.
What an amazing, efficient offense we have seen from the Cary Grove Trojans. They've mixed in just enough pass. They've mixed in quarterback. They've mixed in, their wing backs in their flex bone. They've mixed in their fullback. And everything has complemented each other. You cannot key on any one phase of this offense. And that young man has a leadership persona and a smile that he's going to remember for an awful long. Look at his teammates surround him. They just gravitate to his leadership ability.
So kickoff coming for Cary Grove.
The Cary Grove students, check it out across the way, Nathan.
They're on the move.
They are on the move, trying to get as close to their classmates as they can.
And the security is trying to get them back to their seats. Good luck. Under 2 minutes to go as the Warriors take over here.
67 rushes tonight for Cary Grove. 71 offensive plays, 348 yards, 67 rushes, 325 yards, 34-40 of clock. Are you kidding me? And how about this? 9 out of 12 on third down conversions.
And the 3 they didn't get, they got on fourth down.
Yeah.
Because they were 9 of 12, and they never kicked.
Crazy.
3 of 3 on fourth down. No punts. No turnover on downs, and a near interception as that one sailed over the head of Ricky Johnson.
They did have the one fumble, but besides that, I mean, I don't know. Coaches are never happy, but Brad Seaberg, when we talked to him on the postgame show, I wonder if we'll ask him, it's almost a perfect game.
Yeah.
They really almost played a perfect game, especially on the offensive side.
Yeah, he's going to be happy heading back to the Fox Valley. A little bit of hardware. And 151. Johnson with the backwards pass over the middle. That is complete to the 35. A big hit as Kayvon Jones makes the reception for 17.
Little trickery right there. Well executed by Crete-Mone. He's still playing hard. But how about the backside? 3 helmets to the football. 1, 2, 3. You're out.
Rudolph to Banks to Jones. 1:40 to go. Rolling out Rudolph. Incomplete for Johnson.
Thank you. Rudolph pass is incomplete.
Well, if the headsets are coming off, oh, not yet. I thought maybe the headsets were coming off in victory.
Well, I'll tell you,
he'll coach the last play, won't he?
His assistant coaches over there were a big part in the 2009 state championship team with Eric Chandler and Tyler Krebs. A lot of the 09 players were back this week for Thanksgiving. They went and talked to the team on the Thanksgiving practice on Thursday, and you got to think in a few years that's going to be Ben McDonald and Danny Daigle, Blake Skoll, Quinn Priester going to talk to the next version of Trojans. There'll be a lot of proud alumni, my buddy Brian Beto included, celebrating with Cary Grove. And here's a pass to Johnson, complete across the 50 for 20 yards. Under a minute and a half to go.
Cary Grove, 1 goal right now defensively, keep the ball in front. Safeties, what? They're 15 to 18 yards back right now, twin safeties. Cover 4 deep zone.
Rudolph scrambling, and he'll duck out of bounds right at the 40.
2 flags.
All over the place, different spots.
It's going to be a legal man down back, downfield, as well as a hold. Legal block in the back.
Penalties have hurt the Warriors throughout the day. We got another one on the near sideline late.
So there was 3.
I wonder if that's going to be some kind of sideline infraction.
Some sideline, excuse me?
Yeah. We're 9 for 42 yards before this exchange.
Referee Jason Gray will tell us what he's...
Illegal block in the back, number 66 on the offense. That 10-yard penalty will be assessed from the spot of the foul. We also have a dead ball, sideline warning, Crete-Monee.
You see the play here. You see the block in the back came at the far edge of the screen as Rudolph was starting to break to the sidelines. This moves them all the way back to the 34. They've got to get to the other 34 for a first down. 32 yards to go. We'll have a lot of plays for first and 32. They're going to pass out to Venerable on the screen. And we're going to get a timeout for the Warriors. They've got 3 to use, and as you mentioned earlier, you can't take them with you. They don't carry over to next August.
Timeout. Crete-Monee. Their first charge timeout of the half.
The game has evolved so much, you say next August, and that's obviously the official start of practice. But usually practice and workouts start at the very beginning of January. It used to be you put the football away and you'll see it next year, but now it's basically an 11-month situation of training, speed, conditioning, strength. You still throw nutrition in as well, and that's why these are finely tuned athletes. Know that Cary Grove cannot have played a more efficient game they did offensively.
For the best coverage of the IHSA Championship games, you can turn to High School Lights, presented by Wintrust, tonight at 11 on NBC Sports Chicago, or live stream at NBCSportsChicago.com. Towards the sideline, Banks, in and out of the hands of Johnson. Usually sure-handed. He was right at the sticks for a first down there, and might have taken his eye off the ball to see where that first down marker was. Either way, incomplete. 3rd and 23.
Well, they pull him out of their bag of tricks so far. You know what? That's really good imagination offensively. Pretty tough right now because the defense not going to bite on anything. They're not going to come up and play run. They're going to play back 4 across. Look at all the white shirts back around the 42-yard line. 1, 2, 3, 4 DBs really deep.
Rudolph over the middle and in and out of the hands of Mistak. Sophomore nearly had an interception. Our last game, the 5A title game, was sealed on an interception. It was on the last play of the game as Montini was looking for the touchdown to get within a 2-point conversion of Joliet Catholic. That pass was picked off to end the game. Cary Grove fans, they're making some noise now. 4th and 23 with 50 seconds left. Four wide receivers. And timeout for the Warriors. They were not on the same page, and the play clock was about to run out.
Well, very appropriate right now. Cary Grove students, they're in sunshine, and they deserve to be in the limelight right there.
50 seconds left. We've got our Wintrust play of the game for the Trojans of Cary Grove, and it's McDonald to Priester for 6.
Watch the fist pump at the end. An athletic play by an athletic player. Former quarterback turns catcher. The former pitcher and the pitcher turns catcher.
McDonald with 2 passing touchdowns, 1 running today, and they're having some fun on that Cary Grove sideline. 50 seconds left. On this play, Rudolph rolling out. Has it complete, but out of bounds, short of the sticks for Jamal Sappho, and the Trojans hold. They'll take over on downs with 41 seconds left, and all they got to do now is go into victory formation and kneel down with the team's 2nd state championship in school history.
Great performance, and when you can kneel down to get ready to lift the crown, you've done something. When you know you can milk off 41 seconds. Why should they not milk off 41 seconds? They've milked the clock all day long.
Well, they're going to hurt their rushing average with a couple of kneel downs, though, right?
But their time of possession and plays run continue to rise in an impressive performance.
Here comes the Gatorade. McDonald with the kneel down. Bruce Kay led the Trojans to the state title in 2009. Coach Seberg took over, and now he's got one of his own after one more kneel down.
Does he know what's coming? Because he's about to get it.
It's your boy Johnson.
Stumpy.
Now they got him. Johnson and DiMatteo deliver the Gatorade. And they'll have a big parade up in Cary Grove. State title in 2018 in Class 6A. Headed back to Al Borland Field to join the one from 9 years ago.
Every phase was executed. Defensively, enough stops, enough hits. Offensively, third down conversions, a ton. Fourth down conversions, a ton. Adjustments, a ton. Changing defenses, a ton. And a ton of hugs and a ton of celebrations as well.
You can see the mutual respect from these coaches as the teams shake hands. The Cary Grove student section, they've been in the sunshine all day long. Coach Seberg's not going to mind that bath at all. Cary Grove, your 6A state champion. It's parade time for the Trojans at Cary Grove. That's why the students came down to the front row. They wanted high fives from their state champions, and the players oblige as they make the march over after shaking hands with the Warriors of Crete-Monee. All the players going through for high fives and hugs. And they'll get another chance with the parade coming up back in Cary after they get that trophy back home.
Pretty cool gesture, and the Trojan faithful, they traveled, I tell you what, and they were treated for their travel.
Down on the field with a state champion head coach, Brad Seberg. Let's send it down to Patrick Reed.
Coach, upstairs, Mark Lindo wondered if this was maybe as close to a perfect game as you could imagine. How did you see it?
I don't know if you ever play one of those. It sure is a perfect finish. To hold those guys to 13 points and to execute on offense the way our kids did was remarkable.
Been here twice before. Now you're a champion on the third try. What has made this group special and a championship group?
You know, they're all special, and every year's the groups are truly special. This group was able to pull out some really close wins and to come up with some big plays. We made some big plays in this game. You know, Ben and Quinn and our defense and you know, just so many of the big plays, and you know, so many guys contributed to this. And I'm just real proud and real happy for our community.
We talked earlier this week about Ben handing him the starting reins this season. Walking away as state champion, what makes him so special?
His composure, his ability to throw and run and lead. He called most of the plays today, and you know, we said that players win these games, and he certainly did for us.
Well deserved. Go enjoy a championship, Brad.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Now the second place trophy will be presented to the Warriors of Crete-Monee, who finished the season.
Cary Grove gets the victory here today, and Markey said not quite perfect, but they were pretty close to it on offense. You look at Blake Skoll, 26 carries for $123. Ben McDonald, 29 carries for $113. Danny Daigle, 10 carries for 71. Peroni mixed in 4 for 16. They were 3 or 4 passing, so 1 incomplete pass. I guess that was the blemish on that tally for today. But 73 plays, 69 runs, 346 total yards for the Trojans, and they get the hardware.
Well, we call McDonald right. He had a superlative game from a leadership standpoint. And I knew Coach Seberg, I told you before, I thought it was a perfect game. I knew a coach wouldn't call it perfect. That's right. But if he finds something wrong, you might find one fumble on for him. But when you get third down conversions and fourth down conversions and time of possession and plays run and offensive yardage and defensive stops like that, what can you do better? Coaches always find something.
No punts, 3 for 3 on fourth down. The 1 fumble on the first drive, and after that was fantastic. And you throw in an 11-minute drive that covered 90 yards and more than 20 plays. That's just fantastic. And you see the captains alongside Coach Seberg, getting the medals for winning a state title.
But, you know, that's a really good football team. They beat a team that was on a roll. Crete-Monee, 0-3 start to the season. 6 wins in a row down the regular season stretch, and then the incredible playoff run where they had to get 3 last-minute victories in a row, quarterfinals, second-round quarterfinals, and semifinals to get here. What a great season it was under the leadership of John Konecki, and they are a very, very worthy second-place team. They should be very proud of their endeavors.
9 years ago, as they raised the trophy here, 9 years ago, they took the trophy home. Quinn Priester and Danny Daigle watched that parade together. So what youngsters that are 8 and 9 years old will be at the parade this weekend that'll lead the next version of Trojans to a state title?
Well, they'll be not watching, but they'll be involved this parade tonight. Right, the young kids will be watching, and then they'll be running flex-bone offense.
That's right.
As soon as the football pads go back on.
Quinn Priester went into Subway and got Kyle Chandler's autograph. So he'll be the one signing autographs as he now turns his attention to baseball as well, and might hear his name called in the first couple rounds of the draft next year. And he's got a state championship touchdown reception today as well. They take turns handing this trophy around.
No better shot than the one when the trophy goes above the heads and everybody as one feels a piece of it.
A celebration for Cary Grove as they win the state title and take that trophy back home. Mark, an absolute pleasure to work with you once again. We will turn things over to Dave Bernhardt and Hub Arkush. They've got the 7A and the 8A title games coming up next. And before we get to the 7A title game, IHSA greatest games, the Trojans against Providence Catholic from 4 years ago. We'll be back in Champaign for the 7A title game. Coming up next, Cary Grove, 6A state champions.